this is Shannon from Shannon Talks Yarn, and today I want to talk a little bit to you about a thrift store haul, what I spent, and what I created out of it. So if that's your thing, please stick around. So I wanted to do something new where I show kind of how affordable it can be to try out some different things, especially if you want to try some new techniques, don't want to go out and spend a ton of yarn, and maybe don't want to dig into some of the new fresh skeins that you may have just purchased. So here's a little bit of footage of what I purchased at the thrift store and what I spent on it. So I believe I spent about $4.50 on those different skeins of yarn. And in full disclosure, I did save one of those Pima cottons from Knit Picks because it was a full skein. That one was 75 cents, which was a great deal. So I did set that one aside in my stash. And then in the very beginning, there's kind of a pinkish corally color, almost furry type yarn. And I actually did end up throwing that away. I believe I spent 50 cents on that. And I sniff everything pretty thoroughly in the thrift store. But once I got home and had it sitting there, it was definitely like a vintage yarn. I could tell by the packaging, and it didn't really smell, but it almost kind of did. And it had almost a little bit of a sticky feeling to it. So I threw that one away, which is fine. You know, I don't have plans for any of this stuff anyway. The other thing is, you notice there was that cake of the colored yarn, and I did add yarn to that to complete a project. And that particular yarn I had actually gotten from a friend who was doing some destashing, and she didn't want it. So it didn't cost me anything, which is awesome. So anyway, let's get to it and you can see what I made. Anything that I did use a tutorial for, I will link in the description box. Let's start with the biggest item I had. And I paid $1 for the cake of yarn. And normally I would not buy something that was like a lace or fingering weight, but it was $1, so I thought it was a great time to kind of check that out. So I made this bag, which I am super psyched about. It was kind of difficult, I'm gonna be honest, to get it on the rings. And actually these rings I also thrifted. They did still have packaging attached. I paid $0.25 for these, but I know you can get these at different craft stores. I mean, they were in the craft department of the thrift store. So this bag did have a tutorial, and I mean, it was a very simple stitch going back and forth, but it's hard to get it on the rings. So you can see it is not super even right there on the sides, but to be honest, I don't care. This is for me. I'm not trying to sell it or give it away. I just wanted to try a new technique and try something different. So I am very happy with this. And this was, I paired it with Red Heart Super Saver, and I want to say the color was mocha, which is, you know, kind of dull and plain, but once you got that other yarn in there, I really like how that turned out. I did thrift the button as well to put that on there. I don't know if there was a button in the tutorial or not, but that was easy enough to just sew on with a needle and thread. And then I just made, you know, a chain and attached it on the back, you know, and brought it over. And then I did also make this little tassel here, just out of that thin weight yarn, just to kind of showcase those colors a little bit. So I am super pleased with how this turned out. Again, just a little bag for me to use, but I did want to actually make a couple things to go in it. When I go out and about, I try to pack as light as possible. So I basically will have my wallet, sunglasses, and a chapstick probably. So I made this little pouch to go inside. I, you know, used the exact same yarn. I just did 2 granny squares and sewed 3. You know, I actually didn't sew it. I just stitched it together around the edges and left one, you know, the top open. Oh, look, there's my ends I haven't sewn in yet, but that's okay. It's just for me. They'll probably stay in there, to be honest. So one little pouch, like I said, chapstick, if there's anything else that needs to go in there. You also might see my dog Dixon running around here. So I also made this sunglasses pouch right here. And again, same yarn. I did do, I want to say like just double crochet. And then I did it in the back loop just for something a little bit different texture right there. And same situation, I made one long tube and then just sewed two sides of it together, or stitched them together, and left this side open to be able to put my sunglasses in. So overall, very happy. The Super Saver was free and I paid $1 for the other yarn. Okay. All right, so the next yarn did not have a label on it either, and I want to assume it is Red Heart, you know, where it has the little foil in it. I don't know if that is called, it's not shimmer. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but it is cream and it has a gold shimmer in it. So I made this little pumpkin, and I know it is spring, but I am a pumpkin girl, and yeah, I just thought this would be a good use for some of that yarn. And if you watched my video where I talk about kind of how I got into crochet, this particular pattern was kind of one thing that really got me going and excited about this. So I made this cute little pumpkin. And then I also made an embellishment for something for future use. So I did make this little flower, and this pretty much used about all of that skein because it was only about a half a skein. So here's my flower, and I just left really super long tails on here since I don't know what I am going to be doing with this yet, but I've kind of decided I want to have little embellishments on hand. So if I want to put them on a hat or headband, I already have some, and I think it's a great way to use up some of the little things in your stash. Next was the Pima cotton from Knit Picks. Knit Picks is what it is. Did I say little knits earlier? It was Knit Picks. So Pima cotton in this turquoise color, and I just made myself a little summer headband here. So I just did one strip and put it together in the back, and then I put a little flower on top here. This is just for me, just because I like to wear a lot of headbands, and so I'll put that, you know, wear that diagonally right there. But I like to wear them, and I didn't want to stop just because it was summer. So yes, the Pima cotton worked out great. I have worn this already on a warm day, and yeah, it was really nice. It is soft, very soft. There is not a ton of stretch to it, so I would be hesitant making it for someone else without knowing their exact head size as far as cotton goes. But this was also great because if you watch my Hirschner's haul, I did buy some small cotton skeins, and with the intent of making headbands for myself. So kind of good to have this practice one, since I spent 50 cents, I believe, 50 cents or 75 cents on this one. And again, like I said, there was two. This was the semi-used skein, and I kept the full skein for a later project to be determined. Next yarn I used was the black and white, and it was pretty much a full skein, but it didn't have a label on it, so I have no idea what it was. I made 3 headbands out of them, and I made a couple embellishments, and I did already give away one of the headbands, so I took a little bit of footage of that before I gave one away. I will put that in here. So here are the 2 that I have left. I am keeping this one for myself, and I will have a link to where I got this tutorial from, but I've used it now in quite a few different applications, and I do really like it. And I've kind of altered for size, how big I want the ribbing down here and how many rows I want on here, so it's a great pattern. But this one is going to be for myself. And then I did make this smaller child size one. I would say this would be for like an older child, not a toddler, like 7 or 8 year old. And it's just that simple twist where you take your 2 edges and then fold them together. And there is that. And I made a few embellishments as well, because again, I had a little bit left over. you know, and I wanted to use it and I want some stuff on hand. So I made this bow right here, just out of, I made a rectangle out of single crochet, and then just take some of your yarn for the center part. I left extremely long tails here. And I did also leave this end because when I made the cat hats, which I can link to that here, I did find that I like to tack down the edges, so I thought I might as well leave this in case I do end up needing to tack it down. So one bow, another flower here. This has really short tails because this was the last thing I made with the yarn, and that's all I have left. It was kind of a photo finish to get done on that. So yep, another little thing that again, I just want to have on hand, so if I want to attach it to something, I can. And then I guess before I made those, I did make a scrunchie here. I love making scrunchies. I wear a lot of them. This is just a velvet one. But yeah, they are super fun and easy and quick to make. And if you have like a teenager that is wanting to try out crochet, I think this is a great project for them because it's easy, quick, you get it done, it's cute, and they will use it. The next yarn I found, it was actually reflective yarn, and when I picked it up, I kind of, like, there was no label, but I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was. Like, I knew it was reflective because I could tell by the thread that was almost kind of plasticky. And I don't know, I grabbed that right away, something different to try out, and I gifted that already. So I ended up giving that to a gal I know who, she's very active, and she is volunteer on the ambulance and just does a lot of stuff and bicycles a lot. And she, like me, likes to have her ears covered even if it's kind of warm out. So I made a simple twist headband again and gave that to her. So I will put in a little bit of footage here of the headband, and then also what I think it is. I think that it was Red Heart reflective. I'm like maybe 80 or 90% sure. And I have since seen, I'm going to have to look it up because I thought I had found somewhere else where I could get reflective. So if you happen to know and you've used it, reflective yarn, I'm definitely interested in doing more. So please let me know in the comments if you know where to locate that. But here is that on that cute headband. Okay, and then the last ball of yarn was this green kind of, it's not like that boucle, I don't know how that's pronounced, but it's not that type of yarn, but it was like a little bit bumpy. So 50 cents, try some different stuff out. So I made kind of my first home decor piece with it. So this is supposed to be a string of pearls succulent. So just something different. You can kind of see the texture. This is where you make a chain, and then you put some, I think they're popcorn stitches on there, and you do it kind of randomly so that it comes out, you know, looking more natural looking. But you can see the fuzzies on there. And I just thought this would be kind of a fun little project. I'll probably stick it on a shelf, maybe at my desk at work or something. So yeah, something different and kind of fun. The next one I did is this cute little jellyfish. So first type of stuffed animal or like amigurumi type critter. And what's kind of funny is if you watched one of my hauls the other day, or no, it was a shop with me. If you watched a shop with me, I referenced the fact that I didn't have any safety eyes and discovered during a project that if I want to continue doing these, I should probably get some safety eyes. So I got safety eyes. But yes, here is this cute little jellyfish. And this was just kind of a practice run for me to see how I liked it. Yeah, it was fun. It was cute. And again, for 50 cents for a ball of yarn, it really affords you the opportunity to try some different things. And if you hate it, you know, you can junk it. That's fine. For that price, that is totally fine. So cute little jellyfish, and I will link the tutorial for that below. And then the last two things I made are going to kind of go together. And this is a kid's project. I will link the tutorial where I found this below here, but I made a little Grinch feet scarf. And the tutorial I used had 2 sizes, one for adults and one for child. So I did do the child size. I have a friend, I will give this to her granddaughter. But yeah, it's got his feet, and it was super simple and, you know, the right color. So I just thought that would be kind of fun, you know, to try out. You know, when it gets closer to Christmas time. So cute little scarf here. And then I still had a little bit left over, so I decided to make her a scrunchie with the green. And then I was thinking, wouldn't it be cute if I could find some little red hearts, some charms to go on here? Just, you know, doesn't the Grinch's heart grow 2 sizes? So at the same thrift store that I got the yarn at on a different trip, there was a little bracelet, a child's beaded bracelet. It was homemade. Someone had made it. It was 50 cents. You know, I bought it and tore it apart and took the little charms off because I thought for 50 cents that would work out great. So I will put those 2 together. So there you have it. I made 18 small projects out of thrift store yarn that I spent a total of $4.50 on. So I think this was great. If you are hesitant, you know, just follow the rules of, you know, give it a good sniff before you purchase it, feel it, make sure it doesn't feel grimy or gritty. Definitely don't buy it if there is, you know, pet smell or smoke smell or something like that. And then obviously make sure that it actually costs less than it would to buy it new. I have been to some thrift stores where that is not the case. So give it a try. And again, like I said, for this price, it is just such a great opportunity to try new stuff without, you know, going through your stash or, you know, using like prized yarn on like this video. If you do, I would love it if you would like it and subscribe so I know to make more of these. Please stick around if you enjoy this type of thing. I would sure appreciate it. Thank you for talking yarn with me.